This week's episode is brought to you by the Fence Emporium. Aluminum, wood, PVC, wrought iron, vinyl, chain link, electric, bamboo. Love thy neighbor, but keep them the heck out of my yard. The Fence Emporium, serving the greater Reno area since 1967.
Does everybody know what time it is?
Home Impodcast time!
That's right, Binford Tools is proud to present a Home Improvement Podcast. My name is Adam, and you all know my co-host, Jordan.
What's up, Catman?
Catman Crothers, yeah. Hi, Jordan. Good morning to you. Happy to be here with you this morning, talking.
As always.
We're talking home improvement this week, as we do almost every week of the show.
Most weeks, yeah.
So it's cool. I like it. I'm excited to talk to you about home improvement episodes and like other kind of tangentially related home improvement things. So
yeah, the tangential stuff. I think that's what keeps people coming back.
You know, if there's one thing I've learned about podcasts that like I listen to, it's that I like it when people get off topic and talk about things that aren't really related to the show, because that's really what I'm there for. So.
Yeah. That's why you subscribe. Well, I guess if you want to talk about things that are related to home improvement, I do have a doozy for you. You know how basically since we've started the show, you know, we're 80 some episodes in. We've been doing it for almost 2 years now. Basically,
don't remind me.
You just start noticing really weird related home improvement stuff. You go into people's garages and they have license plates that say tool time or such things. Well, recently at our church there is they do sermons on tool time.
Come again?
No, that's not it. That would have really thrown you for a loop.
Full confession, I was looking at my phone as you said that, and I thought, wait, did I hear him right?
That's what the delay was. But there's like a check-in system for the kids' ministry.
Okay.
And so this system, they have like a test thing that prints out with a name tag for volunteers, name tag for the kids, and stuff like that. And the test one is labeled Tim Taylor. I have it in front of me. I'll send you a picture that you can post on Twitter. It is labeled Tim Taylor, and it says The Man's Kitchen. And then it says Prone to Accidents. And then at the bottom it says Jill Taylor. And then there's a fake phone number. I
mean, obviously, like, that it's very strange. I don't understand it.
Like, exactly. Why is that? Why?
So this is a name tag?
So instead of it saying like Jane Doe, you know, you print out like a test one to see if it works.
Yeah, okay. So this just randomly has a bunch of Tim Allen information on it.
Yeah, that's their Jane Doe and their John Doe. It's Tim Allen.
Well, I hope they're
Tim Taylor.
They better be careful, because churches end up paying royalties to Wind Dancer Pro, and
it must be because they're a nonprofit and we're not.
Okay, yeah, that is interesting. That's very, very strange.
Very strange.
The legend of Tim Allen lives forever.
Still does.
It's almost like he's with us right now.
No, he's with Buzz, from what I saw.
Yeah, corny, real corny.
You have anything related to that?
Well, it's not. I don't know if it's probably the same amount of interest. I was listening to. Sorry, the mic got close to my face there. I was listening to Doughboys, which is one of my 5 favorite podcasts.
We're gonna do a crossover app with them. Is that what your plan is?
Yeah, I mean, they do like live shows, and
we're on that level.
Yeah, we do. I mean, our shows we do them live, you and I. So
yeah, so isn't that the same?
Same thing. No, they're of an entirely higher stature, but they review like fast food places and stuff, and one of the hosts was talking about, I don't know how the topic came up, but how they were talking about whether or not they were like weird when they were younger. And one of the hosts, Nick Weiger, was saying how he had a friend that he went to school with that was kind of strange when he was young, and then he transferred schools, and he heard about this guy like later on as he was in high school. And apparently this guy, once he had transferred schools, he had taken on, and this was presumably mid to late 90s, he had taken on like a Tim Allen kind of persona at school. So he was calling himself like Matt the Tool Man, and he would, make the grunting noises, and he would bring like tools to school, and he'd like fix things for people, and yeah, all the grunts and jokes and everything, and he'd kind of rebranded himself as a Tim Allen type, and it really killed.
That's apparently incredible.
Yeah.
And not a Tim Allen type, basically Tim Allen.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, he rebranded himself as Tim Allen, as a adolescent Tim Allen. So,
Wow,
yeah.
that man.
Yeah,
I wonder what the
I wonder what the
yearbook.
home, and I almost crashed the car.
Oh man, I wonder what the yearbook photo looked like.
I don't know. I'll tell you what I do know though. Now that it's about 70 degrees in St. Charles, we're mowing lawns again on Friday morning.
Oh, good.
So,
Cats are making noises. The lawn mowing is back.
I know, it's great. Yeah, it's great to have nice weather, but I had forgotten that at approximately 9:08 a.m. on Fridays they will begin mowing lawns.
Oh,
so
that's perfect. Well,
this is why we're never going to do a live show with the Doughboys, because lawn mowing issues.
we can't figure that out.
Yeah,
it's a tradition unlike any other. It's just like the Masters.
Yeah, it's like when Mark Maron says "lock the gates." When the lawnmower goes by, it's kind of my signal catchphrase.
You've got a lot of them now.
Yeah, and none of them stick. So
you know what does stick? Every single episode that we do.
Sticky buns.
That's true.
Jordan, before we get into it,
you got something to talk about, huh?
I mean, I just wanted to give you a second. I know you're real into comic books and so I thought you'd want to talk about seeing the new Avengers movie.
Well, what did it came out yesterday.
Did you see it yet?
I did not see it yet. I plan on seeing it this weekend, so I'll let you know how it goes. I am excited.
Okay.
I've seen every Marvel film, I believe, up to this point, so just got to keep it going at this point. They've hooked me. Got to keep the inertia moving.
What's the worst one that you've seen? Maybe that should be the question of the week. I'll let you think on it.
Yeah, let me think about that one.
Okay.
There's quite a few on the list, so I'll have to look at them.
There's some real duds that I can think of, so maybe that's our question. So let's go ahead and tease that out. That'll keep people engaged with this Home Improvement podcast.
Absolutely.
Home Improvement is Disney. This is Disney related, so it's all cyclical,
it's
baby.
All in the family.
All right. Speaking of family and sticky buns, which I mentioned earlier, let's get in the episode, Jordan.
Yeah, episode 86. 'Twas the night before chaos, and all through the house.
It's very similar to 'Twas the blight before Christmas.
Yeah, they're gonna keep this going.
Yeah,
which is fine.
So. Sure,
which is fine. This one written by Rosalind Moore. Last wrote, "Don't Tell Mama."
Don't tell Mama.
Don't Tell Mama. Aired December 13th, 1994. Got some plot keywords. I'll do what we did last week, or the week before, I can't remember, where I just read some of them, and if you're interested, you let me know and I'll click on them.
Yep.
So, identical twins.
No.
Falling from height.
Maybe.
Ice sculpture.
No.
Or rooftop.
Rooftop is what I'd like you to click on.
All right, so we're going to look at Oh, there's also a Korean War veteran.
Definitely don't click on that. That doesn't sound fun at all.
All right, rooftop. Number one is this is out, I think. A movie that kind of looks good, even though I wouldn't usually watch this type of film. And the star of the moment, Dwayne Johnson. It's Rampage.
Are you talking about When Big Meets Bigger? That's
what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I'll rent it. It doesn't seem like anything I need to.
Mostly, I just want to see if it's close to the video game that I used to play.
He's coming out. This
with like 5 films.
Yeah, but the next one's called like Skyscraper, so it's pretty similar. I don't know. I know Rampage has like a gorilla movie, but he's on tall buildings, so you'd seem like you'd want to differentiate. They're on a rom-com.
It's
play a basketball coach.
Yeah, it's not just a gorilla though. I mean,
it isn't.
There's flying wolves. There's lizards.
Okay.
You never played the Rampage game, did you?
No, Jordan. I was outside playing sports with friends and being social.
Looking at the horses next door.
Yeah, I was outside riding horses, picking flowers. No, not familiar.
All right, second rooftop is Pacific Rim Uprising.
I saw the first one, didn't see the second one. The first one was just okay.
There's a couple of Marvel films, Justice League. I feel like when we did this initially...
This category sucks.
Yeah, they've kind of steered it towards, like, the most...
Yeah, I like it when it's
popular.
more obscure. Like, I don't need things that just came out.
I can sort by alphabetical or IMDb rating or number of votes, but let's not dwell on it too much right now.
Let's not and say we did, my man.
Yeah, so instead, let's dwell more on our alternative titles.
Fantastic way to transition, yeah. Okay, let's dwell more on those. Okay, I have 5.
1, 2, 3, 4. So
I have 5 One of them has a question mark at the end, and it's not a question, so that must mean I was not very confident.
I have a question mark, but it is a question. So.
Okay, I'll start. So, the title, it's a Christmas episode. The title is Twas the Night Before Chaos. My first one is The Colonel's Crappy Christmas.
Alliteration. You know I like alliteration.
I did it for you.
All right. And we would have gotten away with it, too, if it weren't for those meddling kids.
I mean, I know what you're referencing.
It's my worst one, so I thought I would lead off with it.
I won't even follow. All right. A sticky situation.
Oh, boy. I knew you would get those sticky buns in there.
Mm-hmm.
Do you like sticky buns?
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
Who doesn't?
All right. This episode's about the patented retirement plot.
Oh, okay. I see what you did. I'll do mine. Patent on the back. That was my question mark one because I just wasn't sure. I mean, I know what I'm referencing, but does it relate to the episode? Not especially.
Yeah, that's fine. How about parental advisory?
Okay, mine. Parental control.
Can we talk about this ladder?
Is that an episode title, or are you just... What
Yeah, that was a title.
It was? Can we talk about this ladder?
Instead of ladder.
You needed to emphasize that more because it sounded to me like you just wanted to table something until the end of the show. My last one. Holly and hand grenades.
Wow. Out of 9 alternative titles, did we have any good ones?
I stand by Holly and hand grenades.
I thought you were going to stand by the pat in the back one.
Nah, that one I do not stand by that. Yours were so bad that I wasn't even sure as
if
to
they
whether
were titles or questions.
If we were gonna have a conversation and edit it out, but quality, quantity, who's to say?
Perhaps we should have talked about it later.
Perhaps, yeah. Okay,
all right, let's
great.
get to the plot synopsis. Off to a great. I'm glad we're recording 2 today because this one's
it's
bad.
gonna be good. Earlier the better. That's the rule with recording.
Yep. All right. So when Jill's parents come to visit for Christmas, her mother complains that Jill's father just wants to spend his retirement time sitting around the house. That's by Skagary66.
Yeah.
Yeah, the patented retirement plot.
Patent on the back.
All right, so let's start walking through this episode, please.
All right, but I'm not going to run. Taking my time. I'll start.
Make sure you talk about the logo, though.
I mean, I didn't really write anything, but...
He's really in the spotlight,
Here's my memory. Isn't it just the logo on screen, without anything in the background?
Yeah, he's really commanding some sort of presence now if he's doing that. And he's holding a present.
You mean... Damn, Christmas presents, yeah. Okay, you beat me to it. All right, Christmas on Tool Time. It's Yule time on Tool Time. Heard that before. They're kind of awkwardly sitting in a far side of the staging area. Tim's wearing a Christmas outfit. Al's dressed as an elf, and Heidi...
we often complain that Heidi doesn't have enough to do.
She doesn't have a lot. What she's doing is really inconsequential and kind of strange. She just keeps throwing fake snow up, and it's kind of falling down. It's keeping things festive. There's also festive music, so it's all working for me. Yeah, well, it's not just any Christmas, though, Jordan. It's a man's Christmas. And because of that, they're going to bring on a special guest, and he's a special... I wrote down ice sculpturist. Is that what you would call him? Yeah, I just wrote down ice sculpture guest. So. Okay, so I was closer. And then, anytime they have these kind of technical people come out, I always wonder to myself, is he an actor or is he a professional in the job that... what would you say about Chaz He's 100% a professional ice sculpturist because his lines are mumbled and quite fast. So do you think... Go ahead. Well, I would agree. But do you think his name on the show, Chaz Jetson, is a real name? Because that sounds like a name they would make up. Well, I think it's Chaz Jensen, first of all. That's disappointing. Not that changes anything, but let's look. Let's look. This is important. I think he's not credited, disappointingly. Well, he starts off the show. That seems... morally, that seems problematic to me. Morally, yeah. Let me Google him. Chaz... Jetson? I'm doing Jensen. I'm going to do Jetson. We'll see what we find. They're kind of promoting the... I don't know, what is it? The Plymouth International... Yeah, it's something completely made up. Yeah. There's nothing for Chaz Jetson or Chaz Jensen, so we're just gonna have to leave this be.
Maybe that sounds like a poll, if you ask me.
No, Jordan. He's in town for the Plymouth Ice Sculpturing Convention or something.
International.
Yeah, and it's in Plymouth. Yeah,
that makes sense. Well, people from Canada. That's about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So he comes out, and essentially there's a big block of ice that already kind of looks like a Christmas tree.
It doesn't.
Yeah, they had like. It's already like you could see if you look through it, you could see that they had already. I don't know how you would phrase this per se, but I could see the outline of a Christmas tree within the block of ice.
Do you think you were projecting?
No, I think it was pre-cut.
I didn't.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm just telling you. I mean, hey, I'll post a screen grab, but you can definitely see the frame of the tree within the block of ice. But that's the difference between watching it on Hulu, which is crystal clear, and then whatever live stream shady website you're going to.
Oh, you mean a DVD?
Yeah, shady DVDs though.
It's super
yeah,
shady.
You bought them from some bootlegger in Kissimmee.
Yeah, something like that.
Have you seen Florida Project?
I have not yet. I've heard about it.
I just watched it.
It's right in my backyard.
I know. That's why I asked. It's very interesting. You should watch it and we can talk about it. Perhaps
we can talk about that next time.
It's good. I really enjoyed it. Okay. Anyways, he cuts out the tree and it's really exciting. Next scene.
Make sure your presents are waterproof. Yeah. Jill is making some Christmas cookies. I wouldn't mind some Christmas cookies. Those are always good. Tim is gearing up for his annual decorating contest with Doc Johnson. Jill hopes that he will take it easy this year, and I think we all know the answer to that.
I thought he might, but no.
No, he doesn't. He brings out a giant candy cane. Apparently they didn't have any bigger ones, is what he says. Mm-hmm. The boys, this is a very strange thing. At first I was very confused by what was happening. The boys are running through the house. They're told not to run through the house, and Mark's response to this is, I need to go to the bathroom.
They all must have had chili at school for lunch or something, because there's a frantic just sprint to bathrooms at various times. So yeah,
Randy, not the athlete, because Mark beats him to the bathroom.
Yeah, well, him and TJ Mowry, they're the smart guys.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, so the reason that they're running to this bathroom downstairs is that all the other ones are taken up by relatives. The house is full of people, and it's just going to get fuller.
It's kind of a strange way to convey that there are guests in the house. Couldn't they have just said in conversation, it's great to have Marty here. Why do they have to do this weird?
They have to have something for the boys to do.
Yeah, take a.
Jill thinks this is going to be the perfect Christmas. There's babies in the house because
she's loony.
Marty and Nancy are there with the twins, so apparently Marty didn't run out on Nancy.
That was the weird thing about this episode is I remember a month ago when Marty was ready to abandon his twin.
He's really come a long way.
Daughters. Yeah, it's weird.
He's come a long way. Tim is so his family is there, and then Jill's parents are on their way, and they'll arrive shortly. So it's going to be a full house. I didn't realize they had this much space at the Taylor house, but you know what? Maybe looking at that other article that said they were just not quite middle class, they were upper middle class. Maybe now it makes sense.
Well, they have that guest house that is of equal side in the side yard. Yeah, I mean that's
they made it out of the boys' playset.
Yeah, and they have a satellite TV in there as well, just furthering the fact that the Taylors are not middle class. They are, Tim's a television star, so they can afford such things.
That's right.
Did you think it was strange that? Why is Marty in this episode? I mean, maybe we save that for the end, but Marty, his wife, the kids, they don't really need to be here.
I think just the idea of it being a full house. I don't know. I mean, other than that, there's not really a good reason for them to be there.
Yeah, all right. Well, we'll talk later, I guess.
Marty's just happy to be getting that paycheck, though.
Marty comes in sounding as Canadian as ever, just yeah, we don't get to get clean very often.
Hey, be nice to our Canadian friends.
We have only one that I know of, but yeah.
Be nice to him, then.
My sincerest apologies to Patreon donator Mark Volbeck. Carry on.
Tim just the parents are on their way. Tim, the only thing that he wants for Christmas is to be called by name by Jill's dad, by the Colonel. But he's not going to get it. Instead, he's usually called Hey You. I don't remember that from the first episode. Maybe you do?
Yeah, it was a thing. They've established it already, yeah.
Oh, well, that's good. So the doorbell rings on cue. It's Jill's parents, and right away, It's nice to see them both together in this episode, but while they're together, they bicker and argue, and it's not pleasant to start out. The boys come down to see the family. Everyone's excited. They are given a job to unload the vehicle full of presents. They love that. It's another point of contention, though, because the presents were piled too high. You couldn't see out of the back. So
literally everything is a point of contention.
Yeah, just picking on everything. Then Marty, Nancy, and the babies come down. So now you've got everybody in one scene, I guess, supposing to further the Full House. And then there's more arguing about the army. So.
One thing I liked about this was, as there was kind of the argument, we've already seen Tim bring in like a couple of really oversized things. I think he's brought in a candy cane, the candle.
The donkey?
He pushes a donkey across the screen kind of subtly. It's very funny.
Very funny. Yeah. He's doing it behind Jill's back as she answers the door.
I like that.
Well done.
Yeah.
And then later they do something similar with a candle.
Yeah. So basically, there's a lot of fighting. Things are not going well. This is an episode with a lot of scenes and settings, so moving forward there'll probably be short descriptions here. Downstairs, the boys are shaking their Christmas gifts. They come to the conclusion that there must be clothes.
Yeah, they're not making noise.
They can't hear anything. So they leave. I'm just trying to. My note here is kind of. I'm trying to remember what I meant. So they leave.
Yeah.
And Polly Holiday, aka I guess we call her Nana. Is that what she goes by?
Yeah, I think we all call her Nana.
We call her Nana. They call me Mr. Tibbs. They call her Nana. So she, the boys leave, and she hollers out. She's like, hey, you boys hurry back. I want you to help me ice my sticky buns. And the audience laughs. What's the joke?
I don't know.
That's verbatim what happened. She says, I want you boys to help me ice my sticky buns. That's how she talks. But the audience just, laughs, but I didn't hear a joke. Speculate for me. What do you think they're laughing at? Buns? Is it just her saying buns?
Is it? Yeah. Is it like buns equated to butt, and that's funny to the audience? I don't know.
Made me sick, frankly.
You know what? But Grandma's gonna make some dessert. She fires shots at Jill. She says, "You can go back on your diet after Christmas," and Jill says, "I'm not on a diet." So I guess that's a subtle hint that she should be on one.
Really subtle, yeah. Mm-hmm. Polly is immediately just complaining and talking.
That's what you want to do.
Taking jabs at Jill's father, the Colonel. Oh, Taylor. Hey, you. He comes in. When he came in this episode, I was so excited.
Yeah, I mean, the kids were excited. I was excited. You're excited.
It was great.
Patton was excited.
Jill can't handle these kind of adult sort of conversations. She just tries to change the subject. But Polly keeps complaining, and she talks about how he just sort of sits in his den, watches the movie Patton, and seems to not he just seems kind of depressed. He doesn't care a lot about his life. He's sort of crabby.
He's a recluse.
Well. Yeah, you're right, Jordan. A recluse is a good way to say it. Jill, meanwhile, tries to tell Tim, and is this is a rational Tim episode. That's what I wrote down, where Tim is just, not fully rational. He falls a lot, but in terms of making...
That's not about rationality. That's clumsy.
Yeah, that's clumsy. But he's rational. He's don't get involved. You want, you always put so much pressure on Christmas and try to kind of insert yourself in these conflicts. You don't need to do it. And she just kind of can't help herself. So
yeah. It's not going to be good for Jill as long as she continues to meddle.
Meddle. Mm-hmm. Where are we at? So, where are we? There's just a lot of scenes in this episode.
So the boys are. This is later. The boys are sitting on the couch. They're watching Patton with Grandpa and the twins.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. This is my note. Have you seen Patton?
I have not, but Brad really likes it. I don't know.
So here's the thing about I've never seen all of Patton, but it's really, I know for a fact that it's really long and quite boring. So the idea that these kids would be super into Patton, I find kind of hard to believe, because it's 2 hours and 52 minutes long.
I think Brad just likes the war scenes. If you watch his face, he's just he's eating it up. I don't know about the other boys. I doubt it. The twins are bobbing back and forth because Grandpa's shooting with them, he has two guns.
I liked that he just went up and took he doesn't know her, and he took her kids. I thought there was going to be a moment where she was leave my kids in their cradles, okay? Just don't pick up my children if you don't mind. But no, it didn't happen.
No, it's a family affair.
Yeah, but they're not even family.
They're still family. Do like both sides of your family, they don't get along? Is that the problem here?
There's just not a lot of interaction.
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah,
I don't think
that's especially. I don't think like that's especially normal that like opposite sides of your family would like this. I don't know that this Marty's wife would have really had much interaction with Jill's parents.
Perhaps.
I think that's not a thing. But hey, we can put it out there. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know. It seems like two sides of my family, they were a little bit more familiar with each other.
But aren't both sides of your family from like the same town?
No,
they're not.
No.
All right. Well, never mind then.
So anyways, Jill dismisses the boys and she wants to talk to Dad about what's going on. She wants to insert herself in the situation. He gets defensive immediately, as expected.
He's a baby. I mean, like we saw this in the... oh no, you're trying to come at me.
I always get in my situation.
Why is everybody always teaming up on me? I told you, dammit. Yeah, just like when you wrote that crappy book, he's very defensive. But
he's very defensive. He leaves, and we leave the situation.
Yeah.
We go up to the roof.
Yeah, Tim and Marty are up there. Marty's helping Tim out, and Tim hits him in the head with candy cane, something oversized, and apparently Tim's hit him in the head a couple times already.
Got a concussion.
Jill wants to talk to Tim.
He uses that ladder that we could talk about later.
Let's talk about this ladder. I don't know. Like, there's just a lot of going up and down the ladder. Jill wants to talk to Tim.
That's why we should talk about it later.
Okay, Jordan. He comes down, but then Nana comes out, and she's mad that Jill kind of meddled.
Yeah.
And, that's about it. I don't know.
Well, so she said, why were you talking to me if you didn't want me to help? And Nana says, I was just letting off steam. So Jill did not see that at all.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Nana, and Nana was complaining a lot, you can't really be surprised that this is occurring.
This is your daughter. You know better.
Yeah, you know better.
We go to the next scene. We're kind of back outside. Jill goes back outside after talking with Nana, and she again wants to talk to Tim, and Wilson's out there. And so instead of talking to Tim,
isn't this like the second episode in a row where Jill has had a conversation with Wilson?
They didn't do a great reveal though, like the last one where they just stay on her feet for a while.
It's not even really a subversion at this point, you know. No. It's just kind of like whatever. Anybody can talk to Wilson at any time. It doesn't need to be Tim. But let's go ahead and play a clip, shall we?
Let's.
Tim? Can you come down here? I have to talk to you.
Again?
Yeah.
Oh, come on. Okay, what did you do now?
Heidi-ho, neighbors.
Never mind, I'll talk to Wilson instead.
What am I gonna do? I'm gonna install an escalator.
Wilson, I'm really having a problem.
Experiencing a little seasonal stress, Jill?
Yeah, my dad is having trouble adjusting to retirement. It's driving my mother crazy, so I tried to help, and now they're both really mad at me.
You got caught in the middle. That is a familial landmine, not to mention a no.
Yeah. Of course, Tim told me not to get involved, but...
Yes, I did.
But is it really such a bad thing for me to try to help my parents?
Yes, it was.
Shut up, Tim!
Well, Jill, when parents are having problems, it's natural for a child, regardless of age, to want to help.
Did you hear that, Tim?
On the other hand, it's perfectly natural for parents to not want their children's help.
You hear that, Jill?
Listen, what are you saying? What am I supposed to do about my parents?
Well, I can tell you what they do in the newer tribe in Africa. They bring in a wise member of the tribe, usually an older newer, who helps counsel the disputing parties and helps them resolve their differences.
So what I need is an objective third party.
Exactly.
Wilson, please.
No, Jill. I would love to, but I'm going to a Filipino Christmas party.
Well, when are you going to be back?
A couple of weeks. The party's in the Philippines.
Man. Well, there goes my fantasy of a perfect Christmas. Thanks anyway, Wilson. Have a nice trip.
Well, how about you, Tim? I think you would qualify as an objective third party.
Forget about it, Wilson. I'm the kind of guy that likes to stand his ground.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah,
I just was tired of using that ladder.
We pick up. Wilson's outside. Jill chooses to talk to him.
Hey, Jordan, actually, I've been meaning to do a bio on Marty's wife, and I think
this is a good time to do that.
As good of a time as any, so
That's a good
I don't mean
time.
to catch you off guard, but Marty's wife, this is her first appearance, a.k.a. Nancy Taylor, a.k.a. The actress's name is Jensen Daggett. She has 26 credits to her name, which, might not sound like a lot, but there are some interesting ones in here.
It's more than I got.
Yeah, you only have 25, right?
Yeah, that's all.
She broke in 1989 with a film I'm very familiar with, Friday the 13th, Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan. She plays Rennie Wickham.
Did you recognize her?
I did, yeah. I just watched all those movies, so I didn't know exactly. I could recognize her face, and then, once I saw the IMDb...
You're pretty much the world's foremost expert on those films.
You'd be surprised how many people are really into those movies. But the thing about Jason Takes Manhattan is... it's a real disappointment because he spends most of the movie on a cruise ship. He only takes Manhattan for like the last 20 minutes. So before you sit down, and I know you've been thinking about watching it, Jordan, just know that the taking of Manhattan is pretty short. Other credits: Melrose Place, Step by Step. She plays Bonnie. I think in an episode you really like. She's in 4 episodes of Home Improvement, so she'll be back a few more times over the next couple of years. She's in Major League 3, Back to the Minors.
The best one.
That is, yeah, that's what people always say. Usually the third one, the one that doesn't go to theaters, is the best one.
Yeah, straight to VHS.
Her last credit was in 2011. She was in The Cynical Life of Harper Hall, which appears to be a short-lived television series. So that is Nancy Taylor, played by Jensen Daggett. So, Jordan, you can return to your Wilsometer reading, or I guess we're just at the fence.
Yeah, we're just at the fence. Jill asks, is it bad to help your parents?
It's a loaded question.
And she kind of frames it a certain way. No, it's not bad to help your parents, but it's natural to want to help, Wilson says, but it's also natural that they wouldn't want your help. And Jill and Tim spar over feeling justified at, this answer. And then Wilson kind of gives some advice about how other cultures deal with this sort of situation. They bring in a mediator, an objective third party. And Jill hopes that Wilson will do it. What a tough situation to put your neighbor in. You talked about love thy neighbor.
There's definitely no Filipino Christmas party, by the way. That's just an excuse to not have to deal with this whole mess.
It's a good excuse. And not only is he gone, he's gone for 2 weeks. So Wilson volunteers Tim. I don't know that Tim's objective. I guess more objective than Jill. But
also, Tim, this is not a thing in other cultures.
What?
You bring in an objective third party? What does that mean? Under what circumstances does that happen? That's not like a
we're a part of the same culture, so
I know.
It's
But
hard.
is he speaking is that it's a part of other cultures? I never heard of it. What ain't no country I ever heard of?
Oh, because you haven't heard of it.
No, but I mean happen. Jordan. Okay, you can take down the defenses. I'm just saying.
I think the idea of a mediator makes sense, though.
Yeah, but in other cultures, we have mediators here. I just don't understand.
Yeah. It doesn't seem like he has to go to another culture for that type of
in other cultures, either tell me the culture or just say
He did tell the culture.
He did? What was it?
It was the Newman tribe or New something tribe. I don't know.
Okay, I didn't catch that. So it is a tribal thing.
Yes, and also a thing in America as well. So
also a thing that just exists everywhere. Yeah, I don't know. It seems stupid.
It seems like a pretty obvious solution.
But no, Tim is not objective.
No, not really. I mean, more objective than Jill, perhaps. But yeah, I think in those situations, probably anyone better than a son or a daughter would be.
Just the idea. I don't know. This episode's just annoying because Jill is she's 40 years old and she's still meddling and getting in. I don't know.
She just wants her parents to be happy.
Yeah, but let them figure it out. You got your own family to deal with. But in any case, we move forward.
I think. Sorry, one thing I wanted to say. It seems it doesn't make a lot of sense that she would kind of jump in here unless it was super severe. And
yeah, it's not.
Unless the word divorce came up or something, I don't feel like it's severe enough.
Well, it's so self-serving. She wants to have a perfect Christmas, and she thinks that if other people are fighting, she can't have a perfect Christmas, so she just frames it in a way where she's helping people, but really it's just she herself wants to have a nice time, which is fine. But I don't
Talk about psychoanalysis.
Yeah,
Dr.
imagine that.
Dietz.
I didn't
He's
even
in.
I haven't taken a psych class since 2008.
And that's all you needed.
Yeah.
All right.
Brad and Randy are sneaking sticky buns. The audience,
Smooth R&B?
the smooth R&B are getting some sticky, icky buns. And the Colonel comes down and he's like, "Hey, aren't you supposed to save those for later? You guys aren't sticking any sticky buns. Why the heck not?" So this is the last Emmett Walsh episode, sadly. So we should pour one out. But that also means my impression will go along with that, which maybe will make people happy.
Maybe not. It will make me sad. There's also a really great like back and forth here between Smooth R&B about what they got each other for Christmas.
so dumb.
Just furthers the point that like they don't have really anything for the kids to do in this episode.
Yeah,
so they
that's
try
true.
to force something in there. But
Yeah.
he puts back to the what's happening with Grandpa. He puts on Patton. And as you're wont to do.
There are other war movies that are good, Like
but Patton's the best general of all time.
That's true. That is true. It's the longest movie too. Best, most bang for your buck.
Yeah, that's what he's all about. So Tim asks if he'd like to help, and he's got no interest in helping Tim fight an 80-year-old proctologist until Tim informs him that he's a Navy man.
So is the Colonel? And I'm gonna expose myself as being a novice here. He's in the Army.
He's in the Army.
Okay, and
there's a real rivalry there.
I only knew that athletically, Army Navy was a game that people sometimes talk about, but I didn't know there was an actual rivalry between Army and Navy people. And you think that that's something that is
it definitely
people
exists.
are aware of? Okay,
it definitely exists. And you know what? And that's why we watch the show, to learn just important things about life like this.
Yeah, you're right, and I'm definitely learning something. This is wow. Well, hey Jordan, the Army did beat the Navy in football this last year.
Ooh, so I bet you we're gonna hear from
fuel to the fire.
We're gonna hear from some Army people after this.
Wow. Which one's Jared in?
The Air Force.
Oh, never mind. Okay. I don't know.
They have a rivalry with you.
Thank you for your service, everybody. All right, back to it.
Up on the roof.
Up on the rooftop.
Colonel and Tim. Jeez. The Colonel's checking out what Doc's got going on.
Yeah, he is.
They start to work. He's happy to get to work. I mean, if he's happy just doing this, you think he'd be happy just like doing anything. But
yeah.
He talks about.
I wish we would have got the scene where Emmett Walsh was climbing that ladder. That wouldn't have been bad to see. Mostly because I don't believe it happened.
There wasn't a lot of ladder in this episode, so you wanted more. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, ladder talk.
Ladder talk 101. All right, so they start talking, they start working. He's happy to be back in action. Tim starts wading into the conflict a little bit here, so getting involved, and Lillian just does not understand how his life has changed. He's lost his significance. And
he used to command like 2,000 men that worship the ground he walks on, and now his wife vacuums the ground he walks on.
Great line.
That's sort of mean, I would say.
Great line, Rosalind.
Yeah, I mean it's clever, but if you really think about it, there's a certain hollowness that permeates. I'd say. Carry on.
just like that Santa on the roof, I guess.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
So Tim calls him out. He says, "You know what? You're retreating on your marriage." So he's really using the military metaphors here, and then he pushes it further. He says, "Do you ever see Patton sitting around on the couch? No, he's a man of action, and that's what you need to be."
Tim schools the Colonel here, and this was probably the only scene in the episode that I found any real enjoyment in. Mm-hmm. It was clever, subtle. Tim, I like it when Tim, gets the best of someone. He doesn't really get the best of him, but is able to.
You like to see Tim be helpful, rational, all those sorts of things.
I like it when Timmy comes out on top. Let me just say that.
Yeah, he does here, that's for sure.
Amen.
On top of the roof, that is. The Colonel
comes out on top of the roof. That's good. Yeah.
The Colonel comes in the next morning. Well, I guess I
don't know what time. It's hard to tell
it's 6 a.m. He says.
Oh, it is? So they've been up all night?
They've been up all night. He was so excited that he's not even tired.
Can you imagine how cold it would have been up there at like 4 in the morning in December?
Does the Colonel even have a jacket on?
Yeah, he's got a lot of dough that kind of keeps him warm. No disrespect, but, he's a thick guy.
Yeah. So
you're not wading into those waters?
No.
Well, I don't know. You're on your own there, pal.
That's right.
You dug a hole.
I don't want to speak ill of him. All right, so they start chatting. He says, "I'm gonna get off my butt." Adam, would you like to act this out with your Walsh voice? I put you on the spot. We'll cut. Don't worry about it.
That's okay.
All right, so he says, "I'm gonna get off."
I'm happy to do it when I am prepared, but the second you, it's like, I don't know, man. Kind of nervous.
Yeah, I don't like doing it. All right, so he says, "I'm gonna get off my butt and out of the den," and she's kind of nonplussed at this. Like, she's just not really into this apology / change of heart.
She's playing hard to get.
Boy,
even though she's already married for 40 years.
Lily's super hard to get. And, he says, "What do you think about going to Italy?" And that perks her up a little bit.
I'd love to see him in Italy. That would be a great episode.
He doesn't even know a gondola is a boat.
I know, that was weird. You would think a man of the world would be aware of such things.
The best part of this episode
I bet a Navy guy would have known that.
Well, of course they would have.
Obviously.
Jill also creeps down during this, we should say, and she's kind of like listening around the corner. Great move, Jill.
Jill sucks in this episode.
The sweetest moment of the episode is the reconciliation here, and the old folks, they kiss, and it's adorable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then Jill runs into the coffee pot or something and makes a noise.
Yeah, you just can't sit still when stuff like this happens. And
probably was trying to run away.
She claims to be sleepwalking. And the parents aren't very upset at all.
You might cough when you're sleepwalking?
There's kind of one final joke here where they found out someone broke into the sticky buns, and the Colonel blames it on the boys.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. That was the truest moment in this episode.
Yeah. Jill says,
we are all the Colonel. God, I'd love to get... I don't know. I'm sure that Emmett Walsh is impossible to reach, as most people seemingly are for this podcast, but man, I would love to talk to him about his 2 Home Improvement appearances. It would just be so funny because he's been in so much, so much stuff and so many things of a higher quality, but I'd really love to focus on these.
Well, you can reach out.
Yeah, I mean, carrier pigeon, I don't really know how you reach a man of his, advanced age, but we'll look into it. Final scene. It's, what this whole episode's been building up to. It's the unveiling of Tim's Christmas light spectacular. I continue to question the logistics of the contest. He says the judges are walking up the street now. What judges? Where? Who's in charge of the contest? It's never
all details.
It's never clear. But everybody walks outside and they're like, "This is what you've been working on." There's nothing there. It's so simplistic, but everything is kind of. I don't know what you would say. It is. It's electric, and it is to sort of come out of the roof. I don't know. How do I describe this better?
It just ascends through the roof.
Yeah, it ascends through the roof. So everything sort of pops up with the remote control. And they said, there's no manger, there's no baby Jesus, whatever. And lastly, the manger ascends up, and that's kind of the icing on the cake. The issue is that Tim put a hole in the roof, and everybody's pretty upset about that. And then at the end, I didn't really get this, and I'm kind of speculating here. People seem kind of upset about the hole in the roof. Is that because it starts snowing at the very end? Is that the frustration?
Yeah, there's going to be snow in the roof. I feel like they should be mad just in general because there's a hole cut in the roof.
At the end, everyone seems extra upset about that.
I think it's just adding insult to injury.
The fact that it just kind of starts to snow. Okay,
yeah.
And that's roll credits, fade to black. 'Twas the night before chaos, a.k.a. Holly and hand grenades, a.k.a. we need to talk about this ladder.
Yeah, so my thoughts are... it's not a terrible episode. I don't feel like it's as good as, the recent run that we've had of episodes. Just, it's interesting to have a plot centered around kind of 2... side characters. A little bit more interesting to do that, but this is one of those episodes where Jill is kind of being a little weird. She's really trying to meddle. She's doing something that I think we all know she knows better, and it's nice to see Tim be the one to kind of bring resolution to it. That's different. There's your subversion that you wanted earlier in the Wilson scene.
I love it.
I would have liked to see Wilson do a counseling session. That would have been interesting. But there's not a lot of jokes in this one really that really land I don't even think it's really full of jokes because there's so much going on, going back and forth between these scenes.
Yeah.
But I did like the donkey, rolling the donkey through and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
It's not my favorite of season 4. It's okay. But it's certainly not as good as, the last 4 or 5 episodes that we've seen.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
I just didn't really like it. I wanted to because I do like the Christmas episodes usually, but for whatever reason, I don't know. This plot just didn't do it for me. It moves around a lot, and I think it's difficult to talk about, which maybe we'll show. But there's just so many short scenes, and like Tim goes up and down that ladder a million times, and like Jill wants to have these short conversations, and I just like didn't find the viewing experience especially enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't really get any momentum because things just kept moving around and such. But ultimately, it's not especially funny. I don't like the Jill character being just sort of like childish and annoying and meddlesome, and it is nice to see Tim behave in a manner that is befitting of a gentleman, and acting in a rational way. But yeah, this with a Christmas episode, I want more Christmas, and not, this is just an episode about an old couple that are just kind of bickering, which is not especially fun to watch, and particularly not fun to watch when it's supposed to be a holiday themed episode. So we do get the Christmas light display at the end, but even that is just kind of like, I don't know, it's sort of a whimper. It goes out. It's not especially exciting. So I didn't laugh much, and I just didn't really enjoy this one a ton. So
Yeah, it wasn't the greatest, but we just keep plowing through, and there's another one going forward, so that's good.
There'll be upwards of 4 or 5 more Christmas episodes. So yeah, I do feel like the Christmas episodes are maybe getting a little bit worse as we go. I think the first one was really good, and then every year henceforth has been a little bit inferior. But
there's still
maybe
time for them to recover.
Yeah, you're right.
We'll get to it in a long time. So with that, we can move to Sean's social media corner. If you want to reach out to us, thehomeimpodcast.com, facebook.com/homeimpodcast, Twitter @homeimpodcast. If you'd like to donate and support the show, remember that donation will get you full access to that awesome reboot pilot that Adam wrote, all 23 pages of it. You can go to patreon.com/homeimpodcast. If you want to get like a preview of that, we've tweeted that out, and it's on Facebook as well. First 3 scenes, and I mean, you heard it on the last episode, and I mean, we did a great rendition.
Killer.
I mean, those 2 schoolboys, tell you what, they sounded pretty good if you ask me.
I mean, you did very well. Yeah.
I brought it.
Yeah.
Before I ask you about Twitter, just have one comment here from Wilhelm Beeston on Facebook in regards to the Some Like It Hot Rod episode that we just covered. Wilhelm says, Jill really screwed the pooch that time, LOL, and we both agreed. But also I would say...
Nice that you guys were able to have that moment.
It was a good moment. And I also would say she kind of screwed the pooch in this episode, too. So back to back.
Too much pooch screwing of late, I tell you.
It's
hard to watch.
With that, Adam, what's going on Twitter?
Twitter, continues to be fire, very lit, dope, presence platform. Everybody's having fun. Specifically, poll, best type of sandwich, 15 total votes.
Is that a lot?
For a sandwich poll, yeah, I would say.
For a sandwich poll?
Yeah, I would say so. I was excited. 13% said Cuban is the best type, 20% said Reuben, 27% said ham and cheese, and 40% said club. So, yeah. What do you think of that?
Club. That's what we came up with for us last time. I do like a good Cuban. I just don't get them very often.
Yeah, you should live in Florida. You should be eating clubs every day.
Who's got a good
Cubans rather.
Who's got a good Cuban? That place I took you.
I know.
Down here.
I almost got one.
What a mistake! I'll take you. We'll go to lunch sometime.
Fair enough. Let's do lunch. Patricia Richardson is also. She tweeted. I don't necessarily know that I understand this, but her tweet was 45 more people. I make 10,000 followers. I still don't get verified. So I'm assuming that she's complaining about not being verified on Twitter.
Yeah, sounds like it. It sounds like she has close to 10,000 followers or something like that, and she's still not verified.
Let's see how many she has now.
WTF.
I mean, she should definitely be verified.
What do you think, Twitter? What are you doing?
I don't understand. She's not close to 10,000. She needs about 1,000 to get to 10,000. But regardless of that, I don't understand the Twitter verification. Like, there are, like, local newscasters that are verified.
Do you have to apply to be verified?
Maybe that's it. I don't know. Maybe we should try to help her out with this. I think if we could, any way we could get some goodwill, we could probably have a better time getting her on the show. But yeah, we got to get PR verified. Come on.
Yeah. Also, why aren't we verified?
Yeah, I don't know. Have you ever listened to one of our episodes? That might provide a bit of context. Also posted a Periscope of this episode, so check that out. I hold the camera farther away from my face, so that's good for everybody.
That's unfortunate.
At Mark Volbeck, loved the pacing of the script that we released. I think he might have seen the whole one. I don't know if he read it all, but
did he see the whole one?
I mean, he's a donator, so he has access to it.
Did I put it on there?
That's only something you can answer. But yeah, continue to follow us on Twitter. Reach out. Do we have a new iTunes review?
Oh man, let me check. You're going to be supremely disappointed probably, but I'll check.
We were supposed to. Someone's been promising to write an iTunes review and give us money, so let's see if that person did either one.
All right, looking at the reviews, we got a new review. Oh man. I like these fun surprises. Yeah, I'm opening up the review as we speak. I can confirm that they have not donated, whoever that is.
Okay.
So
Right. Well,
should we call them out by name? Should we call them out by name? Is that
no? That's not right.
Is that the way you want to handle this? All right, so we got the review pulled up. It's 5-star. We expect nothing less, you know.
Yeah, hey, I mean, as we've said before, if you think we're less than 5 stars, 1, don't listen. 2, definitely don't review us.
Definitely not.
That's not how we use iTunes.
No. So this is titled "Love These Guys" by Sarah Shortstuff. Guess you guys are in need of a review. This is the best.
Good start.
This is the best home improvement podcast.
Oh, hey!
Coming from, and this is coming from the show's #1 fan. I enjoy listening to the reviews on the episodes and hearing how they grew up near Detroit. If you love home improvement, give these guys a listen. So thank you, Sarah Shortstuff. Very kind.
I appreciate that, especially this is the best home improvement podcast because they're popping up every day.
They seem to.
Our geographic location growing up, it's a competitive advantage.
I'd say.
It's got to be. We know.
I don't know. We're just like the K&B boys. We're always near Detroit.
And we've been to Bay City a handful of times. Thank you for the review, Sarah Shortstuff. If you like our show, please review us on iTunes. It helps people find the show.
Sure does. All right, Adam.
Jordan, as we mentioned earlier in the show, Avengers, the third Avengers film is coming out, Infinity War. It's already out right now. You're going to see it soon. I may or may not, depending on how I feel next Tuesday when movies are $5. But we want to talk about something that it doesn't get a lot of play, and a lot, people don't really have a lot of opinions.
Yeah,
on
there's
the Marvel
certainly
universe.
not like blogs or podcasts or anything about
no
this
one else
stuff.
No one else has discussed this yet, so that's kind of why we feel compelled to address it. So
Absolutely.
we just want to talk about I was going to talk about all Marvel movies, but you limited it to Phase 1, 2, and 3. So since 2008, when Iron Man debuted, what are our 2 favorite and least favorite films? And I have not seen all of these, full disclosure, but you have. So Jordan, let me address this to you. Like, what are a couple of the recent Marvel movies that you really like, that really stand out to you?
The ones that I really like, Guardians of the Galaxy was very, very good. Definitely up there in probably my top 3. Unexpectedly funny, engaging characters, good story, all that good stuff. I also liked Captain America: Civil War. Felt like an Avengers movie, but has a good, intriguing question, and it splits the heroes along the line a little bit. Underrated for me, Doctor Strange. I enjoyed that one as well. So those are some of my favorites. I mean, all of them to me are watchable. But yeah, what are some of your favorites before we delve into the not so exciting ones?
I would say not especially surprising. Black Panther was probably I've enjoyed that as much as I've enjoyed any of them. I really liked the original Iron Man as well as Iron Man 3. Probably Iron Man 3 is in my top couple. I just really like that. I thought that was a clever script, and there's kind of a fun twist in that one. And then let's look here. I would also cite both Guardians of the Galaxy films as being just like funny, enjoyable, well made. So yeah, probably Black Panther, Iron Man 3, and I'll say that I like Guardians of the Galaxy 2 more than the first one. So those are a couple of my favorite. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Jordan, what are some of your lesser Marvel?
The not so funs? Well, The Incredible Hulk is kind of weird because it was a different actor.
It's Norton.
Yeah, so that, it wasn't terrible. It just kind of doesn't really fit in with the rest of them. Iron Man 1 I enjoyed. Iron Man 2 not so much.
No,
that one seemed...
It's not very good.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Good. I'm glad I feel that way. Those are probably my least favorite. The other ones, for the most part, I really like the rest of them. Like, I didn't like Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 as much as you did, but I still thought it was watchable and fun and enjoyed it. But what about you?
Okay, so, like I said, there's probably 4 or 5 of these I haven't seen. I did not like... I turned off Thor: The Dark World, the second Thor movie. I was just really bored by it. I stopped watching about 30 minutes in. So I would say that has to be one of them that I did not enjoy. I did not enjoy it. Kind of controversially, I didn't enjoy Spider-Man: Homecoming. I just maybe I just have Spider-Man fatigue, but we saw it at the drive-in. I think I'd maybe had too much to drink at this point in the night, but I was very, very bored by it. I just didn't. I don't know. Everything
maybe
that people
felt
enjoyed.
Too kiddie for you, too high school for you.
Maybe it did. I don't know. Everybody said it was so stylish and funny. I just did not get anything out of it. I didn't enjoy the camcorder aspects of it. I just did not like that at all. Third one. I need to find one that I've seen. Yeah, I'll just go with Iron Man 2 because Iron Man 1 I was so hype about, and then I remember seeing Iron Man 2 in theaters, and it was just kind of convoluted, sort of boring. But they did rebound with the third one.
I need to watch Iron Man 3 again because I don't really remember it very much.
It's pretty sweet.
I've only seen it once, I think.
Yeah, Ben Kingsley. There's it's good. I think it's a clever twist, and yeah, I enjoyed that. So
we're gonna do a marathon, me and you. We're gonna watch all 18, and then we're gonna go see.
I should also say that I don't I'm just not as excited about this as most people are. But I will, if I hear that one's really good, like Black Panther, then I'll go see it. But yeah, I would say I haven't seen. You're
more of the Quiet Place type of guy.
I am, yeah. I like film, like real movies, not scholarly stuff. No, I'm just kidding. All right, Jordan, what are we covering next week?
Next week?
In 3 hours. when we record
what will come out a week after this episode for our listeners is The Route of All Evil.
That's intriguing. Do you think they'll end up in Ohio at that same gas station?
It was pretty evil.
One can only hope.
Oh yeah, that was winter, right?
It was, yeah. So gotta return. All right, Jordan, thank you for joining me, listeners. Thank you for listening, and I guess I should say, take care.
Take care, everybody.
Bye, everybody.